Thank you all very much for coming to Black History Week or Black History Month with us here at the 17th. We're going to start the program off with one of my dear friends who I'll say a few more remarks about more in just a few minutes, but Judge Michael Robinson is going to lead us off.
Good morning. Welcome to paradise. The 17th Judicial Circuit welcomes you to this celebration of our black judges here in Broward. Too much is given, much is required. Somebody said, and his name is Cicero, years ago, that non nobis Salam noti sumus. Not for ourselves alone are we born. We're going to celebrate the black judges, but we're also going to celebrate our great country. And the fact is, black history is American history. Amen. Dr. Martin Luther King said, the most pressing and important question to which we must respond individually is, what have you done for others? The survival of this great experiment called democracy and justice in this great country and the world requires all of us as individuals to take action, not just words, but action at various times in our history. We must all serve to motivate and encourage others to succeed and accomplish their life goals, to allow the good of the many to outweigh the individual needs, and also to sacrifice the pursuit of happiness so that others will enjoy a better world. And that's what these judges do. I'm just tickled pink to work for the 17th Judicial Circuit as a judge. We have the greatest judges on the planet right here in Broward County. As Judge Tudor told the boss man, we got each other's back here in Broward County. We're going to proceed according to the printed word. Hopefully everyone has a program. We're going to keep it as tight as possible. We're going to have the blessed word from the Reverend Ricky Scott, who is the senior pastor of the church that I was baptized in a few years ago. New Hope Baptist Church. Reverend, come on up.
A couple of the judges says I need to baptize him again. I don't know if that's right. Let us pray. Spirit of a living God, we're gathered in this place this morning. Allow your spirit to fill our very being, most precious and gracious and loving God. We remember the struggle of our people, black people, people of African descent, your people, and thank you for your grace, your love, and your mercy. We thank you for leaders that you continue to place in high places and ordinary places. We thank you for our black judges and those who continue to elevate to new levels in this walk of life. Inspire each of us, Heavenly Father, to work more faithfully for justice and dignity of life everywhere. Lord, we remember the hurts of exclusion and prejudice, but we know that you can raise our vision above the barriers and give us wisdom and courage to make this a better world. God, help us value diversity beyond variety. Help us value diversity with a vision for progress, a progressive future that acknowledges our strengths together, as well as the power, creativity, ideas, and part that we all bring when we are all welcome to come to the table and taste and see the Lord is good. As you give us yourself in the bread of hope and cup of mercy, show us how to give ourselves to those who are without hope and those who cry for mercy. Lord God, rule over our spirit in this hour, that we will go from this place with the freedom of those who we trust in you. In the name of him who grandmama trusted, in the name of he who helps us to overcome, in the name of he who kept, sustained, and continued to provide for us, in the name of Jesus, amen, amen, and amen.
Good morning.
We'll now have the Negro National Anthem sung by Ms. Hunt. We all stand.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling seas. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the presence has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day's begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our Father sighed. We have come over a way that with tears have been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on our way, thou who hast by thy might led to our native land. Thank you.
Remain standing, please. Remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance. Got it. Broward Circuit Clerk, Brenda Foreman.
Good morning, everyone. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chief Judge Jack Stewart.
Good morning, everyone. Once again, I'm the Chief Judge of the Circuit, and I welcome everybody here to the program this morning. And want to make just a few welcoming remarks. We began, and Judge Robinson is going to give us much more details, but we began kind of this Black History programs in 2018. And I wish I was the instigator of starting this, but it's more credit to Braulio Rosa and Alona Holmes, who were forward-looking with this. We have... The one thing I miss is we used to have a lunch during...
Don't look at me. I wanted it.
Alona Holmes was very instrumental in strong-arming that, and so I miss that very much.
Next year, Chief.
Next year? Okay, thank you. But I do want to thank Braulio and Judge Robinson and the others for the Bar Association and the local bar groups who helped put these programs together. We normally start having meetings on these things back in November of last year to get it to the point where we have a program that celebrates Black history. One of the judges, our black judges who's missing this morning that we've been in touch with, he sent me a text last night proclaiming how much he's going to miss the program is Judge Williams. So please keep Judge Williams in your prayers. He's doing much better, and from the text, he hopes to come back to work Monday. For those of you who don't know Judge Williams, Judge Williams missing a week of work is something short of a miracle. He is just always here and always with us, so we wish Judge Williams the best. I have some dignitaries that I want to just recognize real quickly. We have our state attorney with us, I think, Harold Pryor. Harold, are you here? Harold, good to see you. I also want to take a privilege of saying a few words about Harold. I've been working with Harold now. When did you get elected? 2 years ago? 2 years ago. Seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? I've been working with Harold for 2 years. Harold has a very difficult job. My job is so much easier than the job of the state attorney. I don't have to make discretionary calls on whether juveniles get charged as adults or whether this and that, whether a police officer should be charged with a crime. I've worked with him hand in hand for 2 years. He's a wonderful person. There's nothing I haven't asked him to help us with during the course of my tenure as chief judge and his tenure as state attorney. So Harold, just a personal gratitude and thanks for your office and what you've done since you've been with us. All right, you met our clerk of court, Brenda Foreman. She did the announcement. She's with us. We have with us Mark Douglas, the deputy mayor of Sunrise, and he says, Mark said on the sign-in sheet he is a proud member of the Broward Bar Association. I didn't have these on the list, but I saw them back here, and I hope I don't miss anybody. I saw Mary Robinson. Mary, thank you. And we also have with us one of my dear friends who used to be just like a regular lawyer. He was the former president of the Florida Bar. I noted, shockingly, that he put his picture in the program this morning. He is a highfalutin trial lawyer these days, making more money than all of us in the room together. It couldn't happen to a better person, to a better human being. He has worked with me in the circuit on diversity. He is always working on diversity somewhere, somehow. He tells me things at lunch that I don't know how he has time to do those things and also practice law. So Gene Pettis, thank you for everything you've done. You know, 10 years ago even, our circuit didn't look like it looks now. We did not have as many of the black judges that we have now. And surprisingly, other than Judge Henning, the next person in seniority in this circuit, when Judge Green retires in 2 weeks, is going to be Elijah Williams. It's hard to believe that our circuit has changed that much. And so lastly, in my remarks, I just want to take a point of privilege here to talk about, to say a few words about my good friend, Judge Robinson. I can't think of a more genuine human being that I've worked with than Judge Robinson from day one. I don't think he recalls, but I certainly recall when he was a general magistrate and came over to my office one day and said, I want to be a judge, and will you help me? And we did. Judge DeMorgian and myself called Paul Huck was the general counsel there, wasn't he? If I remember all this thing driving in this morning. Judge Robinson is one of the hardest working judges in this building. I have to stop him. You know, usually it's the other way when you're a chief judge. You say, Judge, listen, you got to open your docket. You got to do more. You got to do this. You got to do that. But Judge Robinson, I got to call him and say, Judge, you can't work these jurors to 7 and 8 o'clock at night. You're going to cause havoc in the courthouse. And I told him yesterday, he was in a trial in a very exciting case, right, Judge Robinson? That we don't pay judges overtime, so 5 o'clock and everybody goes home. I hope he sticks to that. Judge Robinson missed his calling. He's a great judge. He's a great friend. He's a great supporter and advocate on diversity issues. But if you've ever heard him talk, he should be a reverend. I mean, he right? Am I right? He could do justice with you. He gets started sometimes, man. Amen. So I just want to congratulate all of the judges that we're recognizing this morning. They're all dear friends of mine. Mike hit it on the head. I would not have said this 10 years ago, but I can clearly say it now with a great deal of honesty. We have 90 judges spread out throughout the state, throughout the county. And I don't think there's been a better time in our history where we haven't worked as collegial as we work now. Everybody helps everybody else. Everybody is there when somebody is sick to cover their docket. There's not a one of them that I haven't asked them to do something when we're in a crunch or an emergency that they have said no or griped. So I couldn't be more proud to be the chief judge of the judges that I'm working with now here in the circuit. I will say that we've got to do more on diversity. Everybody in the room knows that. It's a challenge, okay? It's a challenge. It's a challenge to get the right candidates. They got to get through the J&C process, and then they got to get through the governor's office. So it's certainly a challenge in this day and age, but that doesn't mean myself and Judge Robinson and Gene Pettis and others in the community aren't going to step forward when we have candidates that can get through that difficult process and get them nominated and get them on the bench, either through nomination to the governor or running for an office. So on behalf of everybody here in the 17th Circuit, I wish everybody one thing that Judge Robinson left out. It is clear we have to get along and be better towards each other. But when you get to, as Judge Robinson pointed out in one of his, Judge Williams pointed out in one of his texts, when you get to age 60, you start thinking about your health a lot more than you did when you were 40. And none of this matters unless we take care of our health and we take care of ourselves. I'm on a Zoom call there with these lawyers that are older than me. screaming at them that if they don't stop, I'm gonna hook them up to an EKG. It's not worth it. This is a job, we have to do it, we have to be advocates. But I think so many lawyers and people in this room ignore their health over their occupation, and we should stop doing that. And I'm the perfect example of that. So I end that with saying thank you very much, and we're going to hear from Reverend Robinson now. Reverend?
Go first.
Good morning, everyone. I will be brief, but it's important to let you know that none of this happens without our sponsors. All of the stuff that you see purchased requires sponsors, so I want to thank them for everything they've done. We have our pin sponsor, that's Cohen, Blowstein, and Ayala. Jay, they've been sponsors since we started this pin, so thank them. We have a video sponsor, Laura Chukuma, PA. Thank you, Laura. She's been a sponsor of ours for a while. We have our program book sponsor, and that's the Chukuma Law Group. Thank you very much, Jeff. We have the Foreman family. Collins, thank you. You've supported this from the beginning, sir. The Pryor Law Group, Nikki, I think I saw you walk in, thank you. All right, I always have fun with this. Searcy, Denny, Scarola, Barnhart, Shipley. Saya, you here? Well, thank you for supporting us. Nathaniel Green, he's been, Nate, thank you, he's been supporting us. Conrad Shear, anyone for Conrad? Thank you. Of course, the Kelly Ustall Group. From day one, Halter Petishwam, thank you, Gene, and your team. Schutz, anyone for Schutz? Thank you. Kelly Cronenberg, always there for us, any of the folks from Kelly Cronenberg. Kimmy King, King Lindsay. Kimmy, you here? Keller Landsberg, thank you. FP&L, big supporter of ours, also believe it or not. Our president's firm, Weiss Sirota, thank you. Rick Elsley, the Elsley Law Firm. Tony Quackenbush and Quackenbush Law Firm. And the injury firm, thank you, Ross.
God is good. All the time.
God is good.
I was raised in a Pentecostal church, y'all. So sometimes we testify. I will. Don't you do that. I want all the judges to please stand. All the other judges that are here, please stand. Thank you. Thank you for coming. We are a team in Broward, and very collegial. And when we say we're colleagues, we mean it. We work together, and we have each other's back. Alona and Braulio got together and brainstormed and came up with this idea, and then Alona left. I got calls and everything. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? So I said, well, I'll step into Alona's pumps, heels or whatever, but I can't take her place. And the beautiful thing, again, Chief Tudor alluded to it, but historically, when you look at Broward County with its history, we don't have to go historically where we could not go. But give an example, the Broward trial lawyers are actually meeting at the general meeting is generally held at the Yacht Club. Couldn't go there. We couldn't ride on the beach, Fort Lauderdale Beach. We couldn't go there. We couldn't go to Los Olas. We can go to Burdines right across the tracks. And on the other side of the tracks, the ice house. That's how you get your ice for your ice box. We didn't have a refrigerator in the projects. We had an ice box. And I would have to go and pick the block of ice from the back of the establishment. So when I say welcome to paradise, I grew up here in the Green Projects, Sunland Park Elementary, Everglades Junior High School, which is now William Dandy, and a proud graduate of Dillard High School. This is my territory, and I'm proud of it. And I love those who basically will uplift this community, uplift each other, and uplift this judiciary. Because if we don't have a working, collegial judiciary seeking justice, we will not have a third branch of government. And if we don't have that third branch, the hell with this democracy. We will not have America as we know it. So when we have this event, yes, we're talking about black judges, but we're talking about judges in the judiciary and the role of every judge that basically walked the halls of justice in the state of Florida. So we looked at TJ Reddick, the first black judge in Broward, first circuit court judge in the state. Judge Dean in Monroe County, Key West, was the first black judge in the state's history. From TJ Reddick, you had the great Alcee Hastings. You had Henry Latimer. You had the person who I owe a phone call to now, Zebedee. Right. And the list goes on. At one point, we only had 3 judges, Zebedee, Mary Red Robinson, and Alona Holmes. And it stayed that way. That was it. And then Elijah came through the door. And now we have basically 12 black judges and 3 general magistrates. So we celebrate. I wish I didn't have to retire, but I probably last another 12 years and then I'm gone. But in the meantime, in the meantime, I know. They helped me a little bit out. Last legislative session. Anyway, the bottom line is that we have to fertilize and make sure that others are coming behind me. And we're talking about black, brown, we're talking about turning that corner because America is turning the corner. When I suggested and I urge everyone individually to take heed and take hold of the banner for democracy and for diversity, inclusion, you're going to have to because it's coming. It's coming. So welcome. The history of this event, if it were not for Braulio Alona, if it were not for the officers and board members of the Broward County Bar, we have TJ Reddick represented here, Caribbean Bar. Is the president of the Haitian Caribbean Bar the president? TJ Reddick Bar president. Do we have the Haitian Bar president? No? How about the Jamaican Bar president? Vice president, thank you. Thank you for coming. Enjoy. It's a little different this year, but enjoy, and we will serve next year lunch.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Allison Smith. I'm the president of the Broward County Bar Association, and I'm so honored. Yes, woo! Yes, yes. And I'm so honored to be standing here, and I'm not just saying that. It's an honor and it's a privilege. I understand being here, talking to all of you, having this platform is a very big deal. When I listen to people like Judge Robinson talk about the history, it's mind-blowing to me. As you can probably tell if you don't know me, I'm from another country, Sweden, I'm kidding, Jamaica. And in Jamaica, I could go anywhere, do anything. My father was an attorney, my grandfather was a politician. I did not have barriers to success. I didn't even dream or imagine that there would be barriers to success. So when I hear that, it gives me goosebumps. And to be able to stand here and to talk to you and have so many of you as my friends, as my colleagues, who I love and who encourage me and who support me, that's very meaningful to me. And you guys know I never write scripts, so this is all what I'm thinking at the moment. So I wanted to welcome all of you. I have to thank the Chief Judge. I have to thank Judge Robinson. When I first became the bar president, the first person to reach out to me was our Chief Judge, saying, anything you need, let me know. The second person was Judge Robinson, and we had a meeting and we talked. And diversity is so important because look at this community. We're a diverse community. We want to be represented at all levels. And I have to tell you, a lot of people don't know the story. I told it at my installation. But the reason I'm standing here as your president, being able to talk to you free and happy and content and safe is because of Braulio Rosa. He hates when I do this. If you know my personality, this is me. Braulio Rosa. So Braulio chased me down for many years because when I say the bar cares about diversity, that's not just rhetoric, that's real. We really care about diversity. We wanted to make sure the people on our board who serve the interests of our constituents look like the constituency. So Braulio, when he started 10 years ago, came to me and said, you have to be on the board. And I was president of the Caribbean Bar. We have the Caribbean Bar president here now, but at that time I was the president. And I said, Braulio, I'm so tired. Give me some time. Let me think about it. And he sort of said to me, if not you, then who? If not now, then when? And when I tell you that thing seeped into my soul, into my cerebral cortex, and I couldn't shake it. And he's a very tenacious person if you know him. And I said, he called me again. He called me. I was in Arizona on vacation. I don't know if you remember this. He called me and I said, Braulio, I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona, living my best life. Can you call me back another time? And he called me back another time. But it was still playing in the back of my mind of, if not you, then who, then who, then who? We need diversity, then who? And I said, I'm going to do it. And that was just to be on the board. That was not to be the president. But he had his plan. There was a plan. He didn't tell me there was a plan, but there was a plan. And he started talking to me. And again, the same message, if not who, you, then who? If not you, then who? And he really, really convinced me. And it's the best thing I've ever done in my legal career and in my life, really, other than being a parent. It's like the best thing I've ever done. I've had the happiest season. And it's really, Braulio, your responsibility. And I thank you and I love you dearly. And you know that. And I see him getting emotional. You better not make me cry up here. I have makeup on. But really, and the reason I tell that story is because I really want everyone to understand that diversity is so important and it's meaningful to us. And the reason we have all these events, we have people from every walk of life, and we try to do programming for everybody because we value diversity so much. And I thank you for allowing me to be here, to have this platform. I only have, you better not make me cry, I only have 3.5 more months, but it's been a blast. Please accept this as my humble, humble thank you. Braulio, thank you. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to our judges. I'm so proud of all of you. You represent us so well, and it touches my heart to see all of you and to call all of you my friends. I love you very much. Thank you. Alexia is actually going to kill me because I told her my remarks were short, but they're not written. So.
I did, and also for me to now come behind her is going to be a lot, but I'm going to be shorter. My name is Alexia Hudson. I'm the president of the TJ Reddick Bar Association. I just want to thank you to all the judges for applying or putting your application forth to either be elected, to be appointed, whatever it was, because you guys here today are the reason a lot of attorneys want to become judges. I remember practicing in front of the first black judge, Judge Mary Robinson, my favorite judge, and being in her courtroom for the first time as a first-time attorney was probably the best thing that could have ever happened to me. She molded me into the attorney that I am today. When I was wrong a couple of times, or could have done things a lot better, she would put me to the side and say, "This is what you do. This is how you would do it." And it really shaped who I am. It really shaped how I practice law. And but for that, Judge Robinson's just grace over me being a first-time attorney, I really don't think I would be standing here today. So I really just want to thank her so very much for just being who she is. And I just want to say that, to be a black judge, first we have to have black attorneys. And a lot of times, students they don't think that they can do it. A lot of us are here because we thought we couldn't do it. And I remember practicing in court, and when you have defendants that are 99 or 90% black, a lot of times you need the black attorney to understand exactly what it is that they're going through. There are times when, unfortunately, our counterparts don't understand their culture, and a lot of times it does affect their representation. And so, there was one time where there was a defendant that he was just saying, my old lady, I want to talk to my old lady. I need to talk to her right now. And, the attorney in our courtroom, he just didn't understand at the time. He's like, he wants to talk to this old lady. I'm like, well, let me go over there and see what he's talking about. Because he asked me, Alexa, can you just help me? Because I don't know what he's saying. And then when he expressed himself, that was his girlfriend. He wanted to talk to his girlfriend. But for that attorney, though, asking, at least he asked, right? Because there was that inclination of something is wrong. I was there to assist him and say, he wants to talk to his girlfriend. That's just the culture. That's just where he's from. And that's how he says it. It's important for us as black attorneys to be in the courtroom. And so if you have children, nieces and nephews that, look up to you and want to be attorneys, do not stray them away. I know a lot of times you're like, no, you don't want to be an attorney. But we really should push them forward so we can have more black judges, more of us, more attorneys and judges to shape us, for us to be who we are as well. And so we thank Broward County Bar Association. We thank Judge Holmes and Judge Robinson for continuing this path, for always, supporting TJ Reddick Bar Association. If I could call Judge Robinson about anything, he's going to answer. And so I'm so happy that I have a judge and we have someone that supports us wholeheartely. It's very genuine, and I'm just super excited to be here. Thank you guys so much for coming. We have our president-elect, Sharia, here as well. Say a wave, stand. Thank you. And thank you guys so much, and we will continue the program.
Well done, Lee.
Go on.
Gifts.
Oh, okay. Well,
Gifts.
all right, let's see. Okay, so we want to present the commemorative pins to all our judges. Yes, one. Mhm. So Judge Robinson will call the judges up, and Sharia and I and Alexia will present the pins. Teamwork.
Still thin.
There you go.
All right, we're going to, Judge Moon is not here, so we'll take hers. We're going to start the back row and come to the front row. Judge Gillespie?
First line, right here.
Judge Gillespie.
Okay, lots of gifts. Under 100, don't worry.
I think you gotta turn around and take a picture.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, Lord. That's so complicated.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you.
Judge Frank?
You did, yes. You don't go already. Okay.
Smile.
Thanks, Judge. Thank you.
Judge Fonseca.
Sorry, I'm a hugger. You can call the next one. Sorry. Oh.
Judge Bonner.
I'm working on that. Thank you. You know, my kids love these.
Of course.
Hold on, coming this way, gotta get my hug.
Partner.
Hold on, let's try that again.
Ready? Smile.
Judge Blackman.
Judge Eves. Judge Robinson. Judge Eves. Eves. Blackman is Eves. We're talking about your last name, Judge Eves.
Well, Judge.
That mayor didn't invite me?
Well, don't mind the gift. Surprise we're owning.
Smile.
I have to stand next to the tall people?
Judge Odom.
Judge Robinson's gonna get on me. I'm so sorry. I got a time-sensitive hearing that I gotta get to, and I tried to reschedule it. Thank you. God bless you all. That's it. Thank you. I just didn't want to leave, and you figured I just took my gifts and dipped like a coach. Thank you. Have a good
All right, Judge, thank you.
All right. Judge Powell. Judge Evans.
All right.
Smiling.
Magistrate Leventure.
One arm hug.
Want to give you one of those one arm hugs.
Yeah,
There we
all
go. One of those for you. One of those for you. And there we go.
Well done.
Oh.
Magistrate Robinson Woods. Our newest magistrate, Cody. Yeah, I'm getting in the middle, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
We do have a gift for Judge Robinson as well.
This is a little twist. We had this earlier, but it's new to this program. Question, answer.
Judge Robinson, they have a gift.
We have a gift. He said, okay, just calm down. He said it's fine.
I'll take it later, I want to move it on.
Okay, fine. Okay, all right, so we're going to do, we borrowed to the Hispanic Bar, and I know there's some members here and members of leadership here from the Hispanic Bar. They had a judges event earlier this year, and it was so fun because they did this question and answer segment. And so we want to do the same thing here with the judges here. I know they didn't prepare you. But it's fun, I promise. We were going to start with Judge Moon, but I don't see her here. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next judge, and I'm going to have Alexia ask the next judge.
Well,
You don't know
Judge
who's-
Odom just left.
Oh, no, so then it's back to me. Okay, all right. So we're going to go with Judge Eves, who did not invite Judge Robinson to her wedding, but that's all right. She's in trouble for that. So we want you to tell us, Judge Eves, what is the most adventurous thing you've ever done?
Illegal, like, not illegal, but legal related or outside of legal.
Outside of the law, something really fun and adventurous that you've done. Don't tell me that you've never done anything fun and adventurous.
I went to Brazil for the World Cup.
Ooh, all right.
That's what I meant by not legal.
That's pretty adventurous. That's pretty adventurous. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Turn it over to Alexia.
All right, we have General Magistrate Alana Robinson Woods. Whoop, whoop. Was there a career or personal setback that you faced, and how did you overcome it?
Well,
Just remember your father's. And mother.
Clearly, we did not give them these questions ahead of time. Clearly.
And I guess the only thing would be, I worked at a law firm right after I was a public defender, and I didn't necessarily like it. I didn't have a job afterwards, but I quit without a job, and I didn't have any idea where I wanted to go. But I ended up working at a civil litigation firm after that. But I didn't have a, I didn't have a safety net of,
Stop.
Want me to ask you another question, because I feel like you kind of gave us a waffly answer. So I'll ask you another question. So if you had not become an attorney, what other career would you have pursued?
I wanted to be an English professor.
Really?
I love to read, I love to write, I love to analyze. So that was what I was going to do until I took a course when I was at Georgetown, and it completely changed what I wanted to get into career-wise.
Wow, that's excellent. That's better than me. Most of you know the story. I wanted to be Mariah Carey, but moving on. All right, so we're going to go to Judge Frink. So we're just calling them at random. They have no idea who's being called next. Judge Frink, what one item on your bucket list have you achieved, and what's another one that's still pending?
I saw Sade in concert. Next on the bucket list is maybe, I think, traveling to Egypt.
Oh, very interesting.
How about attending a Gator game when they win one?
Take off your mask, get ready.
He's a Gator hater.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this question is for General Magistrate Yves Laventure. If you had unlimited money, what things would you spend it on? What would you spend it on?
Oh,
To be honest, I'd probably open a pet rescue and not have to worry about the money.
A what?
Is that the real answer, or that's the PC answer?
Oh, no, that's the real answer. Whenever I retire, many years, many years. But that's part of my plan.
Really?
Fabulous. Very good. Don't ask me that question. It will not be the answer. Okay, well, Alexia, you can ask.
Oh, okay. All right, Judge Barner. If you could, I did not know you were so funny until the Korean Bar Association.
She's very
She
funny.
is
Her husband is very
hilarious.
funny,
Oh,
too.
The gala. Sorry, that was off. Okay. If you could relive one moment in your life, which would it be?
The time my genius husband took me wild boar hunting.
Wow.
Yes. If you don't know anything about me, I'm terrified of being A, outdoors, B, in nature, and C, everything outdoors. So they decided it was a good idea to take me to Okeechobee, to take me wild boar hunting. Yes, they are an invasive species in the state of Florida, just so you know. And I took down my very own wild boar with a spear. So I'm dangerous, folks. Just kidding.
So, fun fact, I've been a vegetarian for 26 years. So taking down a wild boar, but I still love you. We're going to move on to Judge Evans. Before I ask Judge Evans the question, I have to give you a little fun story about Judge Evans. We went to school together, we went to law school together. Same section, graduated together and everything. We still look the same as we did 20 years ago, so that's amazing. So Judge Evans, my question for you is, what year of your life has been the best year thus far, of your very young life?
Well, first I only look the same because I shaved my head first year of law school. I would have to say 2015, because first my wife isn't here. Okay. So because I got married in 2012, so I didn't choose that year. 2015, I was still a fairly new husband. I celebrated my first year on the bench, but I also had my little girl born, and made the mistake of naming her Callie. So, yeah, so she was right after me. And it was also the last year I had my father with me. So, all those things were still there, and so that definitely be my favorite year.
Favorite years. Good and bad, but more good than bad.
Yes.
Wonderful. All right, we'll have Alexia ask the next
All right, we have Judge Gillespie. Ready? Dun, dun, dun.
We play the clip. Call a lifeline.
What's your favorite way to spend a day off?
Perhaps giving my wife the first kiss of the morning. Followed by a cup of cafe con leche.
That's a great one.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Is his wife here? That's a good answer.
Guys, take note.
Hopefully this has been recorded so his wife can see that. That's a great answer, actually.
Very cute.
Very good. All right, Judge Fanistock, it's your turn. All right, and I know Judge Fanistock, she's my friend. I have a good question, a nice softball question for you. If you could live anywhere else, we know we love Broward County, I love Broward County, but if you could live anywhere else, where would it be? And why?
You know, that answer changes every time the Powerball and Mega Millions. Where would I want to live?
My house, done.
So, I came from New York. I know it's cold. I know it can be miserable. This really is the best place in the world. 'Cause I keep coming back to Florida. I love the people, except when they're on highways.
Yeah.
I love the food. I love the culture. I would love to tell you it's Europe, but that's a great place to visit.
Yeah.
This is home. I grew up here. I've been here for 40 years. I'm not leaving. I'm sorry, you guys are
That's
so
a great
great.
answer. That's a great answer. I love it. Alexia.
All right, General Magistrate Cody. All right, if you could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be?
Let me just say, I was so relaxed when I came in here.
Oh, no.
You were just gonna sit and just watch, observe, and be inspired, but if I could do something for a day, one day. One day. You know, there's so many things I've learned from Judicial College and Myers-Briggs, whatever. Took that test, I realized that I'm very agenda oriented. So one day, I would go back to the Bahamas, where my family is from, on my mother's side. I would spend it in a small island called the Berry Islands, which most people never even visit. And I would spend that day with my family, just enjoying that experience. That's what I would do.
Wonderful. All right, Judge Powell, you know we weren't going to forget about you, of course. And I made sure I was going to be asking you the question because you're my friend. We also went to law school together, which a lot of people don't know. And she makes very good, there's a Jamaican dish called cornmeal porridge, which she makes. She doesn't like for people to know that, but I know that. So I'm just calling you out, blasting out your personal business.
I know that now, Judge.
You know, and she's Jamaican too, so you can make some for her as well. So the question for you, Judge Powell, is what would people be surprised to learn about you, other than this porridge making thing? What would people be surprised to learn about you? And if you don't say the right thing, I'm going to say it.
Oh, you know the right thing? What is the right thing?
Judge Powell, you can give another answer.
I was born by the river. In a little town, oh, just like that river. I've been running since. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know change gonna come.
That was the answer, and you did it the best way. You actually demonstrated it to us. Yes, she is a singer. See, I wanted to be Mariah Carey. I cannot sing. I would never even join you in that chorus because I cannot sing. That's a little bit irrational at the time. But thank you for giving us that answer. She's a brilliant singer. I've put her on the spot many times, and she needs no rehearsal. She's a brilliant singer. So amazing, amazing.
All right, and last but not least, Judge Robinson.
He's looking at We did not want to leave Judge Robinson out of the fun.
Of course.
So we wanted to make sure that he was going to be asked a question as well.
All right, Judge Robinson, what makes you laugh the most?
Television, a good show. I love Westerns, so I love Doc Holliday. You guys have been before me. I quote him often. And I laugh because I see it over and over. I'll look at a movie, a good movie, over and over, The Best Man, over and over again, until it becomes laughable.
Thank you, John. Thank you guys very much for humoring us, judges. We loved it. That's the end of our question and answer session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That is the end of our program. I want to thank again Braulio and the Broward Bar. I want to thank the Chief Judge. Without his permission, this would never happen. This is his courtroom. Those of you who want to buy the portrait there, I think it goes for about $2,000, but I don't know. Never heard. Don't know. But this is his courtroom. This is his masterpiece. Without him and his leadership, particularly coming through, we're still in it, but this pandemic knocked us back a few notches. So I want you all to thank this Chief Judge Truly for all his efforts. I know still that Burger King has 2 sandwiches for $6. Chicken and the double hamburger or Whopper. No, it's almost like a quarter pounder, not the Whopper. Whopper separate. Or you can do 2, or you can mix them. So I'm not going there today, but they'll see me soon. Please enjoy your lunch. As I state to all the jurors, this is your courthouse. You pay for it. This is your courtroom. Come and just see what happens. When I say the halls of justice, you're in it. This is it. So tell the public we're in business. We're open every single day. So take heed. If you like Chick-fil-A, you gotta go somewhere else. Love you. Thanks for coming. Thank you.